All right. Well, given that we have quorum and people are here that need to be here, welcome everyone. And let me welcome everyone to the March the 2nd meeting of the Edmonton Metropolitan Transit Service Commission Board of Directors. And I would like to remind everyone that we are now recording this meeting and it is being live streamed on YouTube for the public. Today's board meeting is an online meeting with members and participants from their various respective homes or places of work. We got that. All right. So anyway, today's board meeting is an online meeting with members and participants from their respective homes and or places of work for the duration of this meeting. Welcome to all guests and visitors. Thank you to those who are joining us and the members of the public watching our live stream or later the recording of this meeting. As always, and because it is right to do so, we begin every board meeting with a land acknowledgement. And so let me do that on behalf of the board. So on behalf of the board, we would like to acknowledge the traditional land on which we are gathered is indeed Treaty 6 land. We would like to thank the diverse Indigenous peoples whose ancestors' footsteps have marked this territory for centuries, such as Cree, Dene, Saulteaux, Lakota, Sioux, and Blackfoot peoples. Also acknowledge this as the Métis homeland. We also acknowledge this as the Métis homeland and the home of the largest concentration of the Inuit south of the 60th parallel. It is a welcoming place for all peoples who come from around the world to share the Edmonton metropolitan region as home. All right. How am I coming through? Am I coming through okay?
Your internet connection seems to be a little glitchy, Mr. Councillor Broadhead.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's just his. It's even struggling on my end. I can't use my main computer right now, so I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, I was having a problem with the Zoom background program.
Yeah, same. I'm just on my phone because it won't let me do any video right now, even though I'm standing in front of it.
I had to relaunch it on my laptop. So anyways, okay.
I'm gonna, if we'll muscle on here and we'll see how it goes. It's a fairly straightforward agenda. We have the agenda before us. And so for someone who can read the agenda, or Councillor Gronberg, can I get you to move the agenda?
For sure. I move that the March 2nd, 2023 agenda be adopted as presented.
Thank you very much. Any comments by any member of the board? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, please raise your hand. And Councillor Knack, maybe I'll just ask for a verbal.
Yeah, I'm a yes. Thank you.
Very good then. Thank you. And I believe that is unanimous then. Thank you very much. All right. We have the consent agenda that's before us, which is on the consent agenda is simply the minutes of the February the 16th regular board meeting. Would someone care to pass that motion?
I would, Mr. Chairman, I would move that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Thank you very much. I'll call the question. All in favor, raise your hand. Councillor Knack.
I'm a yes.
Thank you very much. All righty. Okay, and we're on to the main agenda items then. Number 4, dissolution bylaw amendment. Over to you, Mr. Jankowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So at the last board meeting, the board requested that we bring back consideration for the board of potential changes to the dissolution bylaw to affect the now desired accelerated potential for dissolving the commission. And so we've taken a look at the requirements in consultation with Kathleen L. Hatton Lake of Shore Jardine.
Paul, I think cut out there on me. I'm not sure.
Okay, is everybody else hearing me okay? I'm seeing thumbs up. Shall I just continue?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have taken a look at the requirements, in particular the timeline requirements of the dissolution bylaw, and recognizing that the dissolution bylaw was originally developed for different reasons and anticipating a different set of circumstances, primarily those of an operating commission. And recognizing the situation that we're facing as a commission now, where we do not actually and haven't been able to get to a state of operating transit by virtue of the notice of withdrawal that we received from the city of Edmonton. We have taken another look at the timeline requirements that were identified in the original dissolution bylaw, and primarily they fall into three categories. Number one, clause number 5 or section number 5 of the dissolution bylaw speaks to the timeline for delivery of a notice of motion and an effective period of 90 days before the motion can be considered. Clause number 6 and clause number 7 speak to the timelines that were originally anticipated to essentially collect or solicit or receive input from the member municipalities and from the public at large. And the numbers, the days that were identified for notice provisions in clause number 6, public notice, was 30 days, and there was a request to receive input from member municipalities and from any public, any member, any resident of our member municipalities at least 21 days before a motion is proposed to be considered by the board. And from our perspective, those made a lot of sense if we were going to be dealing with potential dissolution of an operating transit entity. If I can move to the next slide, please. What we have proposed as being reasonable to still elicit and to provide and to enable our member municipalities and residents within our 8-member municipalities to provide comment are greatly shortened timelines. And you will see that what we're suggesting would still allow for essentially 13 days of availability for the public and for our member municipalities should they wish to provide any kind of further input between the date of publishing a notice. And so we're suggesting that an appropriate timeline might be to suggest to the board that 20 days before a motion is proposed to be considered by the board, both notice to the prescribed parties in the dissolution bylaw and general public notice to be published on the website of the commission. A 20-day period would suffice, and then we would suggest that any kind of input that is to be provided should be provided to the commission and provided to the board 7 days before that motion is to be considered. That would allow then for the board to effectively provide about a month of notice, or just short of a month of notice, and would allow for input to be collected over a period of approximately 2 weeks. So we've considered, and I won't go through this in great detail because I think I've spoken to most of this already. We think that that would provide for an appropriate period of notice and input opportunity for our member municipalities and the public at large. Certainly those parties that had been interested, I think, have already provided some of their thoughts, both directly and through your participation on the board. And given the situation that we find ourselves in, we are proposing these revised timelines. Should you wish to consider these positively, this kind of motion to amend the dissolution bylaw would require a special resolution, and we've provided in the document and the decision note that you have in front of you as part of your agenda package, just to remind members of the board the requirements around a special resolution. Happy to stop there and answer any questions that any members of the board might have.
Thank you, Mr. Jankowski. Any questions from any of the board? Andrew or Councillor Knack or Councillor Houston, any questions?
Yeah, no, just a comment, I guess, that I know that we had received a comment from our legal opinion regarding the requirement for us to have the the agreements with Edmonton and Devon. Just wondered how we're doing with that and what's the anticipated timeline for us to achieve that, because and by the way, I'm super supportive of the proposals before us, but I just wondered on the timelines to Mr. Jankowski for the agreements to be finalized with Edmonton and Devon. That's my only question.
So I will provide a brief update on that here, and happy to provide more detailed update in camera should you wish to get that more detailed update. But we've had a number of meetings with both municipalities, and I will say that the discussions and the exchange of drafts is going very well. And I am hopeful that we will be able to move forward with the completion of those agreements in short order.
Okay, thank you. That's the only question I had. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Houston. Any other questions for members of the board? I know that we had talked about this. So in reality, this is not really new information to us, Mr. Jankowski, but certainly the way it's been presented is in the form that we can actually take action on here by motion. So maybe without any further questions, take us to that motion, and then we consider that.
So we've got in your facilitation deck the proposed motion, and it should be up on your screen now. And it suggests again that this amendment would have to be passed by special resolution. There is also in your package a proposed or a draft bylaw number 7, which would reflect the changes suggested by this motion. And by moving this motion, you would put in place and approve the proposed bylaw number 7, which amends bylaw number 4 with the timelines that I've discussed before. The respective sections are noted on the screen and in the motion as well. Again, Mr. Chair, this would require a recorded vote should it come to that once the motion is moved.
Fair enough. I'll just state for everybody who may be online, Councillor Munkoff-Swain from the city of Beaumont was unable to join us. However, his participation is not critical to a special resolution. And so we have members of the commission. Okay. All right. So we will take a recorded vote then at the end of this, just to make sure that we dot the i's and cross the t's as appropriate. Can I beg your indulgence, Councillor Knack, to make the motion?
Absolutely. Hopefully you can see me. I don't know if you can.
We can.
Excellent. Well, we're working from the phone, so I will happily move that that by special resolution, the board adopted bylaw to amend bylaw 4, a bylaw respecting the process for disestablishment of the commission, including the treatment of assets and liabilities on disestablishment as follows. Part 2, Section 5A, 90 days is replaced with 20 days. Part 2, Section 6, 30 days is replaced with 20 days. And Part 2, Section 7, 21 days is replaced with 7 days.
Thank you very much. Certainly accept that motion. Any opening comments?
No, none for me. Thank you.
Okay, any other member of the board choosing to comment? Okay, well, I would like to say, Mr. Jankowski, that your explanation of why we would do such a thing, and it's born out of the conversation by board members and the contingencies that we're facing in terms of disestablishing the commission. So this is good work, and I certainly appreciate you moving this motion, Councillor Knack. Without any further ado, any closing comments, and Councillor Knack?
You know, I think you've summed it up. This is a, we're making the best of a situation that I think not everyone wanted to be in. But we're going to do the best for everyone as best we can with the decisions that have been made. So appreciate all the work that's gone into these amendments here.
Fair enough. Thank you, Councillor Knack. I'll now call the question. All in favor, please raise your hand, and I will call the question. So in favor, Councillor Knack, Councillor Gromberg, Councillor Harris, Councillor Finstad, Councillor Laurie, and myself, Councillor Broadhead, and Councillor Houston. A verbal, please.
I raised my hand, so if you needed a verbal from me, was that your question? My hand is raised, so.
Okay, fair enough. I guess I just didn't see your hand. But thanks anyway, Councillor Houston. I pray that's carried unanimously, Mr. Jankowski. And thank you, everybody, for that. We'll now go on to the next item of the agenda, which is simply to move in camera, and there's some discussions pertinent to the details of the work that still needs to be done, and we'll cover that in camera. Who would like to make this motion to move in camera?
Just before we do that, I'm about, after we make the motion, could we take about a 6-minute break? I'll be in my home office by then. And then if that
We
works,
certainly can.
I'd be happy to make the motion.
Very good, then go ahead.
I move the board move in camera in accordance with the provisions of Division 2, exceptions to disclosure of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, FOIP, RSA 2000, CF 25 as per section 16 through 28.
Thank you very much, Councillor Finstad. I'll call the question. All in favor, please raise your hand. And I believe that's unanimous. Okay, let's take a quick break. How about till about 25 after? Can you do it in that time? Okay, we'll reconvene in 5 minutes.
Chair,
right. Well, welcome everyone. We're now back in public session and welcome to the viewing public. All right, so we have moved back in public and that the main motion still to be looked at by the board is the motion to adjourn. So board members, 2 weeks from today or sooner.
I apologize, Mr. Chair. There should be a motion to accept the information as presented in camera. For one reason or another, we didn't have that.
We'll just wait for you to put that together then. And Councillor Laurie, you had a hand raised?
Yeah, I was just going to offer to make that motion.
It's yours to make then, sir.
So, did we want it typed up or do you want me just to make the motion verbally?
If you don't mind making it verbally, that would be great. We can type it up after the fact.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I'll just motion that the board accept the information presented in camera.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Any comments?
No, just express my appreciation to the administration for the updates provided and the thorough information we received on it.
All right, I'll ask for the vote. Call the question, raise your hand, please. All in favor? And again, Councillor Houston, I cannot see your screen. I don't know why. I'm assuming you're a yes. All right, fair enough. Good, that's passed unanimously. Now, I don't think we actually have to take a vote on an adjournment. I get to just state the adjournment unless there's any further business for the board, Mr. Jankowski.
No, sir. Thank you all. Thank you for the board's direction and I look forward to our discussion in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jankowski. Board, we stand adjourned. Thank you. Let's see you. Talk to you in a couple of weeks, if not before. Bye, everyone.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep, bye.